For sure, you can, I think best way to have a poker face. Yeah.
Uh, we are live on YouTube as well.
All right.
Cool.
Let's just
Yeah, I think like
start
folks will
off.
keep joining in. We can get started. Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. So, folks, like as you are all aware about today, we'll be voting our favorite ETHforAll projects. As you might be already aware that as part of ETHforAll, after declaring the results for the partner bounties, we also wanted to introduce quadratic voting, and that is exactly what we have done at ETHforAll with a matching pool of $10,000, and all participants with valid submissions are eligible to take part as well as vote in this QV round. And while we have been seeing a lot of folks, showing their interest, voting other projects, we also felt that we also have some of our personal favorite projects as well, and that is exactly what we'll be going through in today's call. So I'm just gonna go ahead and share my screen so that we can get started.
Before that, I'd like to introduce everyone here. Most of you here might already know of Aniket and me. Must have seen us around, but Aniket is the community lead at Devfolio. I was the community lead earlier. Now I've moved on to much more stuff. Take care of like operations and everything here at Devfolio. We also have Ekansh, who's recently joined us at Devfolio. He's helping us scale all our initiatives. We have Kautuk, who's been like a builder uh, since like when was your first hackathon on Devfolio, Kautuk?
I think it was a long time back. I don't even remember. I think 2018, 2019, somewhere around that.
Yeah, I think it was, as far as I remember, it was the Money Legos hackathon. And in that,
yeah.
yeah, you were with Dev, and then you submitted uh, something around email, uh, tokens for email. I think that was pretty cool. And then
Yes,
ever
yes.
since, yeah, I think that project was pretty cool. I think Vitalik gave you a shout out also for that. And then even since then, Kautuk has been building. He's been an ETH India Fellowship 2.0 fellow, then worked with the EF, and then has now gone on um, and is building like something really exciting in the scalability space, which I'll not pretend to know about much. So I'll not embarrass myself by talking about it. But then, yeah, Kautuk, as you go ahead, like maybe you could find time to talk about it as well. And we also have the sometimes cool cat and now hot dog, QEDK. And QEDK is also a builder from our community. Started off as a hacker, doing a lot of just groping around, uh, building whatever he could find his hands on. Back, I think in 2020, early 2020, and then I think he saw the ETH India Fellowship announcement, and I think that changed things for him a bit. Am I right?
Yeah, for sure, for sure. I mean, I did my first Devfolio hackathon also in 2019, I think.
Okay.
I mean, that's how I heard about Devfolio, but I didn't really do. I was doing MLH hackathons then, and then suddenly I got the EIF invite, and now we're here. So long way.
Yeah. And as part of your day job, I think you do engineering at Polygon.
Yeah.
And these is what are the things that you contribute to at Polygon, if I may ask? I'm sorry, I've been a bit out of touch. with your
No,
work
no
recently?
worries. So, I mean, mostly I do smart contracts now. I used to do back-end engineering before, where I was kind of doing smart contracts on the side. Now I kind of switched over to smart contracts with some sort of protocol research, a little bit RS related and stuff.
Pretty cool. And QEDK has also been um, EIF, not only an EIF fellow, but this time round, he and Kautuk too have been gracious enough to help give back to the community through being mentors for the next generation of builders through the third edition of the ETH India Fellowship. So really excited to see what comes out of that, and kudos to you folks. I think the fellows are having a great time interacting with you.
Yeah, kudos to Devfolio for making this happen. Like, we missed an iteration, but I'm loving EIF 3.0. I love the enthu in the new folks, and honestly, like, some super smart people out there building on Ethereum as of now.
Right.
Yeah, I absolutely agree with him. Like, I think like Devfolio is doing wonderful for the space, and no one else is like working in this as much as you guys are, and really awesome to be a part of the fellowship and all the other programs. Yeah, kudos.
Right. Before we start off, we just wanted to get a sense of what our personal interests are, so like we could delve more into that stuff. So my interests now are more into public good stuff, figuring out public goods, how we can impact, um, create an impact through blockchain, and also like things that everybody can consume without like consumption of any particular good affecting anybody else. So like public goods in Ethereum is like something that I'm passionate about. Ikansh, what about you? What are you interested in these days?
I think for sure public goods is definitely something which is interesting, because of course, like, the idea here is how can you help everyone without like taking away something from, like, say, the general audience. Obviously, I think continued interest for me seem to be anything which is, I would say, user facing. So I think, like, obviously, like, we're a step away from, like, improving UI UX and just the experience of people just interacting with blockchain, right? So for me, I would call that the infra layer, where I think the idea here is how do you get the, say, next half a billion users or a billion users onto Web3. So that's a space which I'm like very closely looking at. So any company which is building in that space, which is infrastructure for, like, a layman or a Tom, Dick and Harry to like start interacting with the chains. I think that's something which I am very, bullish and keen on. So yeah.
Nice. Definitely, and I think it's definitely time now that we are seeing like much more interest in people coming aboard. From the outside, it does seem like the bear market, but I don't think that stopped anyone from building.
100%. I just on that front, I think two things. One is, of course, there will be a set of builders who will build like interesting use cases, which is part one. So imagine you build like a use case which is actually makes it exciting, like an DeFi or anything that is. And then I think the level two is like, okay, now you have all these interesting use cases. How do you get people to access it? So access is something which I'm obviously curious or interested in. And we have obviously interesting projects like, say, Kautuk and the others are building. So like, of course, like, so I think both go hand in hand, but while it's a bear market, I think like this is the perfect time to be building. And then I think when things change, I think we're all ready to actually have all these users come on board and actually try the technology. So I think great time to be in Web3, I would say personally.
Sure. What about you, Kautuk?
Yeah, one thing is like, be it a bear market or a bull market, whatever, it's always a builder's market. So anytime, like, whatever the case may be, so many nice, interesting, creative projects always keep on popping up, irrespective of the time. Yeah, so like 100% like agree with you on the public goods part. I think this is the unique part about the space that people just like keep someone builds one project, someone forks that project and adds additional features on top. So like most of the things are open source, many things are just being added by the community members of the project itself. That is pretty exciting. Personally, I'm more into the scaling side of things and the infrastructure side of things, similar to Ekan. So I keep thinking about ways how you can build you know Web3 projects using Web2 tools and something around that. So I think still at the moment we are still early in the Web3 space, and I feel like there is a very large group of people who wants to get onto the Web3 side, Web3 paradigm of building, but like they're having friction. So I keep thinking about that on how to actually enable these kind of developers to make the jump. So that is also a domain which I'm looking at pretty like fondly. So yeah, that's mostly about it.
And of course, I think anything related to scaling is also a general interest, right?
Yeah, exactly. I think one of the not good part about like I think it's still very early, so the tools are still evolving, the tech is still evolving, and we are the ones who are gonna uh, make the project like evolve into more developer friendly way. So scaling definitely helps, and I believe one there would be a time in the Ethereum space that everyone who's like the boundaries between Web 2 and Web 3 will be so blurred that there won't be like a very differentiating factor. Everyone is building on every kind of tools.
Makes sense. What about you, QEDK?
Oh yeah, for sure. Like I think public goods is something of huge importance, especially for like an ecosystem like Ethereum, right? Like I was actually building for public goods back when I was kind of founding engineer at Moonshot at Gitcoin DAO, and we kind of built these like just different products of public goods. So we basically built like decentralized recruiting, some products related to decentralized curation of grants, basically what is now being built out with the new version of Gitcoin Alpha, for example. And of course, like as Kautuk said, scaling has always been a general interest at Polygon. I mean, we build ourselves as scaling Ethereum, not gonna lie about it. But again, like we are kind of delving into the ZK EVM space much more dedicatedly in the recent history. We have a mainnet coming out on March 27th, and we are also exploring non-EVM based scaling solutions as well with Maiden. So we're kind of excited to see where we can kind of take this forward. Not just like because even if it's a non-EVM solution, like we must realize that it can be something that we can make to inherit this chaotic Ethereum in a different way. So kind of really interested in seeing what new tech we bring out in the near future.
All right. Without further ado, Aniket, let's check out some projects.
Cool. I'm just gonna share my screen and look for the first project. So yep, I hope my screen is visible.
Yes.
Okay. Cool. So the first project we are going to be talking about today is AI Mint, built on Mantle. And basically, it's like a tool where you can sort of put in your you can put in the like a sentence or like a prompt. You can prompt engineer whatever words you want to put, and then it will create an image out of it. And basically, you can then eventually go ahead and mint it as an NFT.
Very interesting. I think these folks, the AIMIN team has been building, pretty consistently since a while. Um, and yeah, really glad to check this out. Yeah, like what about this? I know like this was among one of the projects that you folks chose. So yeah, anything that stood out about this project?
Yeah, the most interesting part about the project is it combines like two of my favorite fields, which is like AI and the Web3 space and NFTs and stuff. So I think that's the most that's the most interesting bit for me.
Right. Should we go ahead and try minting something?
I think like to Kautuk's point, I think what's interesting is that again this access, right? Like to the fact that I don't have to go and find a designer, but I can just use AI to create something. It's all in one place. Then, what of course you remember, like they had done the live demo in ETHforAll in front of I think an audience of I think 400, 500 people. So I think that's definitely quite interesting. Yeah.
Let's
Does
get a prompt. Let's get a prompt from
Yep.
chat. Maybe folks, can you drop a prompt and then we'll mint it right now. Big Ethereum logo riding a horse.
This seems super
All
interesting.
right,
Okay.
let's try it. Oh damn!
The horse is
That's
pretty
it.
cool. I think like we'll have to like sort of engineer the prompt in like a proper way. Um,
Sitting on top of a
Where's this?
horse, just Ethereum, I don't know, try whatever.
Where's the Ethereum? Can't even. Okay.
yeah, I think it totally depends on how we
Vitalik
structure it. It's like
having
it has to be very specific.
Vitalik.
We're
Oh, you
getting.
can just try some other prompts. Yeah.
Oh, we have some other interesting prompts too.
I'm just checking the chat.
He's just using Ethereum to pay groceries. These will be blown away
Okay.
for sure.
So Zoom doesn't really allow me to copy text directly, which is pretty weird. But if someone can read it out for me, it would be super helpful. I'll just type it out.
Are we doing
Yeah,
the? Go ahead. Yeah.
I would definitely want to do the Jesus one, but I don't want
Okay,
to
let's
get
do that. So
cancelled.
Jesus, we don't want to do the Jesus one, right? Okay, fine, we won't do it.
I mean, I'm worried about getting cancelled, but then yeah, I think it's okay. Let's try it.
Yeah, can you read
I'm
it out
pretty
for me?
intrigued.
Because I cannot.
Yeah, Jesus
I
using
cannot.
Ethereum. Yeah,
Okay.
Jesus using Ethereum to pay at a grocery store, comma, cyberpunk style.
So, it looks
Yeah,
like
this is cool.
this is
I mean, doesn't it look the other way? This is from a. It looks like Jesus is the.
running the store.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's pretty interesting. All right, we're getting more interesting prompts too, but then
But
yeah, I think this is.
yeah, we can take like one last prompt, I think.
I'm curious about real face of Satoshi Nakamoto. Let's try that.
Yeah, like this, I'm not really sure. What does it say?
Real face.
Real face.
Real face of Satoshi Nakamoto.
There's like
What is it?
Jethalal as well.
That was pretty cool.
Yeah, I'm not really sure. Azam and Ayush, maybe they can predict what's gonna happen.
Oh,
Bruh,
okay.
bruh.
Who's
Okay.
oh, damn.
A badass NFT.
It's actually pretty cool.
We found him. Right.
Yeah, this is what happens in the
The
Devfolio stream.
mystery
Right?
has been solved.
Yeah,
You saw it here first.
you saw it here first at Devfolio.
Yeah.
I
It
think you
does
should
look like
definitely
CV.
make a screenshot.
For sure. Um, and
Cool, I think.
I think like we
and
have
then
like
do
a
you
bunch of
have
other
funds on
projects
Mantle?
to do. Yeah.
Do you have funds on Mantle? We could have checked out if we could
Nope,
generate it
not
also, but
currently.
then all right,
Not
we'll
currently. I'm
take too
not
much
having.
time. I'm trusting it that it would work. Yeah. All right. Let's move
I
on
think,
to the next
yeah,
project.
Yeah, I think it's the
cool.
next project.
Yeah, the next project we have is Broadcaster. So let me just open that up. So it says that Broadcaster allows content creators to have full ownership and control over their streams, and they achieve this by embedding a live stream into an NFT, which users are allowed to sort of view on any NFT marketplace. Any thoughts, folks?
Honestly, a super cool idea. We tried kind of solving this on a different platform in my EIF 2.0 fellow. We kind of extended the idea to YouTube videos. We were thinking of something like Twitch as well, but kind of like the centralized part of it is sort of difficult, right? Because live streaming with low latency is incredibly hard to do on prod. Um, but I guess with solutions like live peer, it kind of takes at least a lot of the load of the infra side of things, which is great. And live peer has actually come like very far. I mean, you can kind of see that in the token price maybe, but yeah, like super cool idea. And I mean, if you look at live streaming today, like it's basically just Twitch, right? Twitch is the de facto word for live streaming. Maybe like you can consider YouTube gaming some sort of a smaller alternative. And I guess if we can kind of move this towards a decentralized space and kind of give a way to kind of have the content creators reclaim their sort of revenue, then I would say like that's just a great thing.
Yeah, I think a lot of merit in this idea in like building this out. So the way I see it is like, I mean, definitely right now, Twitch is the market leader, and then there's like, many other spaces. I think YouTube gaming was also it for a while. But yeah, what they have written is like correct that uh, like everybody has different needs. So like would be really cool that um, that we just have a protocol and then people are able to just build front ends which dictate how you consume them, like probably like the kind of approach that even Lens has taken, Lens and Farcaster, where people can they just are essentially the protocol or the backend, and then people can build front ends to consume the content any way they want, and create communities. So yeah, pretty cool on that.
What I'll also do is like I think I'll keep adding my votes as well right in the beginning, like
Yeah.
side by side. So I think it was AI Mint. So I'm just going to drop 8 votes for now, and same for Broadcaster as well. Let's give them another 8 votes and revisit this soon. Coming back. Should we go ahead to the next project?
Yeah, sure. In the meantime, I just want to ask, like, how many of you in the chat uh, have completed your attestations, have completed your voting? Ayush says he's done it. Pratham has done it.
Just do a raise of hands, maybe. I think is that easier? So,
Right. Cool. Right. And then I hope you folks like found a UI like easy enough to use, because we're really keen on making it very simple, as simple as possible. We actually implemented quadratic voting last time in out I think in out 2020, and that was an interesting experiment. But that was like funding where people could come and pay, and then we had to do it that time in fiat. But yeah, it was very interesting nonetheless. Excited to see. Okay, Janesh says UI is good, but one suggestion: we don't know how many projects are there. I don't quite. Okay, it just keeps on loading and loading. Okay.
I think that's a fair feedback.
Probably.
Yeah,
Right.
I think we had like a lot of projects in ETHforAll, like around 400. So that's a fair feedback, Ganesh. We're working on it at the moment to make it more readable or viewable.
Makes sense. Right. Keith, let's move on to the next project.
So the next project we have here is Super Loud. Just gonna open this up real quick. So yeah, it says Super Loud is a platform that brings artists and fans together via fun karaoke experience, curate songs, live stream your karaoke sessions, create video collectibles, and compete in challenges.
Interesting. Let's check out the Loom, perhaps.
Yep.
You probably have to forward through it to understand.
Is the audio coming through? Is the audio coming through?
Really?
I don't think so.
Not really. It isn't.
For me personally, like this is like by far the most creative projects. One of the most creative projects that I've seen. Like I haven't seen such a platform for karaoke and like all of these things. Like even in the other space as well. So yeah, kudos for building that.
Agreed. Yeah. I mean, I saw this too. Found it pretty cool. And again, they're building on Polygon. So love to see that.
Right. Just trying to understand. Right.
Yep, I think like here one of the focus could have been like to make onboarding much more easier for people to get them interested in this space. And like we already have like a lot of music fans, especially karaoke. So and like with the help of Superfluid and other resources, I think like the whole UX has been simplified a lot, and definitely it gets a lot of people interested.
I think like just like some of these projects which are creator focused, like the biggest thing is, I think the biggest thing about Web3 is like, taking out the middleman, right? Like YouTube, Twitch, all of those who make most of the money. So any sort of means which let the creator or owner control the money, control the ownership. I think these are just fantastic projects. Like even Sound.xyz, which was funded, was around like, I can own a piece of music. So, but this is even one level ahead, which like, I can actually do karaoke or something with my favorite music stars, which is even more interesting. So definitely an interesting project, I would say.
Yeah, on that note, I was like thinking of if someone out there could do it, they're just throwing it there. If someone could build like a index wherein like on one side you have all the Web2 products and you have on other side all the Web3 equivalent of the same thing, that would be a really nice index. Like I would personally like add stuff which I know, but if someone could just make an index of that sort, that would be really nice. But there might already be which I'm not aware of, but like yeah, just if someone.
I'm sure someone would have a market map out there, like what is being disrupted by Web3. Like I'm sure there's like a Web2 stack, and similarly, I'm sure there's a Web3 stack. Yeah, but if someone has it, can share the link. If anyone in the chat knows about such things, it's great for everyone to know what are the interesting things being built.
Yeah. What, my opinion, what would be really interesting is like sometime down the future where we are no longer able to differentiate between
Yeah.
maybe Web 2 and Web 3. And then because the core premise of like at least in my mind is that when you're building with uh, Web3, like by default, it comes in with like the APIs are already built out of the box in a sense. I don't know if I'm making sense. Like, because you don't have to, like, there's already like all these toolings that exist that are able to query the blockchain. So the data is already like put out there. So in a sense, then somewhere down the line when we get to a scale where uh, you know uh, the question is not about so much about TPS, then
Yeah.
then we actually get to stuff which can be built both in Web 2 and Web 3, right? So then
Right.
we'll probably start taking advantage of that. What do you think?
I think one major thing and a major differentiating factor is like how you interact with these applications. So right now, for most of them, you have a wallet which then like connects to the application, and then you send transactions through that wallet, and that goes through and stuff. I think once that UX is like more smoothen out, like for like Web2 space, you don't have to do anything like that. So one of the most I think influential thing that's going to come out is account abstraction. I think they just launched a mainnet version in ETH Denver, I think yesterday or day before yesterday. So I think that is going to solve a lot of these problems. So you won't really have a wallet to interact with the application. You could just like make it much more simpler. The user flow, the user interaction and everything will be taken care by the account abstracted account basically. So I think, yeah, that's going to be really, that's a really huge thing already. And that's going to play a vital role here.
Folks, watch out for account abstraction.
So there's a quick note here. I know like a few folks are putting in like feedback on quadratic voting, so that's great. Rahul Khanna just messaged us to the host and panel, so we'll keep requesting folks to keep sending us suggestions because we're building for the audience and for public good. And Rahul Khanna, your feedback, we've again taken a note of, so making note of all of these things. And I think while obviously there are 500 projects, I think it's also in the end, like obviously some projects will be interesting, some will be not. And it also comes down to how you're able to sort of make an impact and actually be able to push it across. I think a typical sort of conversation which happens in the VC world is you can build a great product, but I think great distribution is even more important. A product cannot exist on its own. So I think like some form of publicity will obviously like lead to some projects getting more funding, but then I think that's how things work, right? But we do take a feedback into consideration.
I mean, like in our mind, it's not a perfect solution for sure, but then at least we think it's a step in democratizing this. At least you have a say in supporting projects that you think are cool, and you're able to do this without putting in funds yourself. The reason why you can do that is because then we know that it's only open to the hackers and folks we have personally whitelisted. So, yeah, that's why we think it's kind of cool. But yeah, I get like that folks who are able to with some more marketing skills are able to publicize more, which is not necessarily a bad thing. But yeah.
But I think to Denver's point, like the fact is that it's open for everyone. That means it's open to everyone, right? At least versus like the money being gated. Like say for example, 10,000 that gate is removed, right? It's everyone to decide whether, and definitely like distributed or far like imagine one centralized person deciding to one project among 5 versus 20 projects support. I think it's a step in the right direction.
Can't your voice is cracking a bit? Is it? I don't know if it's only for me.
It's cracking up a bit at times.
Yeah. Note of this. Yeah.
Cool. I think we have a couple of more projects to go through, so let's head on to the next one. Next, I think, is called Aave Ease, if I'm not wrong. This is a project. It says that it helps streamlining your Aave experience, a powerful tool for optimizing Aave transactions through innovative batch and migration features. And yep, this is pretty much about the project. Uh, any thoughts, folks?
I think this is the perfect example of what I said earlier. When people build projects, someone else comes up and builds something on top, which like further increases the value of both the projects, and then someone else will come and build something on top as well. So this stack keeps on growing, which is like really awesome. So this is the same thing. We have Aave, then someone built an interface on top. I think one most like the project which comes to my mind is InstaDapp, which did the similar thing back when it started. This is like a something similar on that front and like adding more value to it. So yeah, that's my 2 cents on it.
Yeah, fully agreed. I mean, as soon as you put the contracts on chain, it basically means anyone else can use it, right? And that is basically ideally what you want. Like you can kind of interface of each other and build what you want. And technically, even if you look at contracts like now, and if you compare them with contracts like 2-3 years back, like we have gotten like very far with things like permits with the EIP 712. EIP 2612 permits. And we have already removed a lot of the friction. And as Kautuk said, like we already have account abstraction, sort of the first solution upon EVM, which was announced at the Denver. And like obviously we'll implement that at Polygon too. We are also looking into some other solutions for supernets, the other account abstraction EIP 3K something. But yeah, with those solutions and kind of with interfacing of each other, we can theoretically remove those hindrances one by one that we kind of don't realize coming from Web 2. Like as a power user, like we're comfortable with it, but someone who's like into the blockchain will obviously not enjoy that same experience. So things like this are definitely required.
One off-topic thing, like came up with his comment. So there are so many EIPs and stuff. So a free hackathon idea for someone. Just take all the EIPs, all the entire repository of EIPs, throw it into ChatGPT and make a natural language version of it, so that I can just type in some stuff and it gives me the correct EIP. That hey, is there something which exists that allows me to do X, and it will just give me a bunch of EIP. So free hackathon idea for next time.
Yeah, that's really cool. Definitely build that out. Yeah, and this project pretty interesting. I mean, like for non-power users, like all this can be very intimidating. So I think this project goes a long way in helping people with that.
Cool. Does
Right.
anyone else have anything to add, or we can just go ahead and give them the votes?
Yeah, let's go ahead.
So here's the project. Cool. Right. So I'm just going to pick up the pace a bit. And the next project which we have is called Bridge Together. And so it says that it helps you pool your funds and save on gas fees while bridging, and it has also won the Connex Best X App Award. And it says that it allows users to bundle up their bridge transaction with other users so as to minimize gas fees paid per individual. And on reaching a certain threshold, the keeper bots aggregate the signatures into a single bridge operation. So I think it's more on lines of automation, if I'm not.
So this is like my thoughts are like this is definitely interesting because like we are seeing more and more like cross-chain applications, and that really provides folks with a lot of freedom. However, like I think gas is like something major that prevents folks from really using these bridges effectively. So I think like if you're able to pool funds, then definitely that makes sense. Like the gas will just be distributed among all of the users. Uh, I'm not too sure how off-chain signatures in this work. Um, hmm. Okay, looks like it's taking the signatures off chain and then only on a certain threshold it's putting everything together. Pretty interesting though.
Yeah. If like Apoorv or Anupriya are on the chat, they can also like help us get some more understanding on the project.
For me, like also like accounting for the personal bias I have for bridges and stuff, I think if I had to pick one project out of the entire submission pool, I think it's gonna be this one. Like it's like by far the most helpful project, at least for me. Yeah, like Denver mentioned, like it's gonna be so helpful with so many different chains coming up and so many bridges. Like it's really like there needs to be like a UX upgrade. So there are so many like bridge aggregators and other projects which allows you to do that. But this is a very important factor, even with so many bridges. If you want to bridge and move your funds from one chain to other, I think it's an important factor to note. Wherein it's gonna be less costly if there are so many transactions together. So yeah, it's very helpful project on that regard. Kudos.
Great. Yeah, and yeah, shout out to Apoorv. I know the builder who's been building since a while.
Yeah,
So yeah,
Poor keeps
really cool
building
to
like
see this.
crazy cool stuff.
Yeah, keep it up, Apoorv.
Awesome. So I've just given them the vote as well. Next up, we have not sure how to pronounce this. Is it Save or Save Finance? That says that it simplifies DeFi with Save on Polygon, and uh, like what solution they're providing here is it provides a simple and easy to understand UI that is not seen in other applications, and it's like a one-click solution to do multiple investment strategies that have been stood in the test of time.
Again,
I
simplifying
think
UX
this is
is
more
like simplifying UX is like anything that we can do to simplify DeFi UX. I think would be great. We check out some of the screenshots. Oh, this looks pretty complicated.
this is
Right.
the user-facing screenshot.
Okay, interesting. What's the next screenshot? Okay. All right. Any thoughts on what about this stood out for you folks?
I mean, it looks like an optimization for yield farming. Basically stake into Aave into Curve, and then theoretically then use the Curve for USDC. This is basically like an optimization over those wrappers. Like we have seen this in the form of like Earn Finance or Convex, which are like the blue chips on Ethereum, so to say. I believe it like is kind of bringing that to Polygon, which is great. Like there's also like alternatives like Beefy. Save looks like it's designed more for simplicity rather bring a breadth of different assets. So yeah, definitely cool to see.
Very cool. Cool stuff, folks.
think there's like a short video. Maybe if you can just see how it's working. Yeah.
Okay, so you're connecting a wallet. MetaMask. Connect your network. Okay. All right. Yeah, so makes sense. So I think like, yeah, everything like it just simplifies the UX a lot because usually you need to uh, know a fair amount of like, be in the know-how of like all of these projects for sure. But yeah, pretty interesting to see.
I'll just quickly drop my vote. We accept it over here.
Right.
Uh, the next up, we have Box Protocol. So here's a project. It says that it's a DeFi app for investing in boxes of crypto, representing the hottest ideas and sectors in Web3. Think of it as small case for Web3, but self-custodial and tokenized.
Pretty cool. I think small case is something that's really captured the imagination of folks in India. At least, and yeah, lets you like invest in all sorts of the sectors that you believe in. So yeah, this is pretty interesting.
QEDK,
Right.
anything you'd like to add?
This was super cool, honestly. Yeah, I feel the coolest part of this is that you can create your own box. I feel like as someone who uses DeFi, I would kind of prefer this to solutions like even Index Co-op or like Zerion, which do already kind of provide these sort of index token facilities. But the ability to create my own box with like the proportional amount of tokens that I want in a particular box, theoretically not even splitting my revenue with anyone else, because there is no rebalancing or anything, is something that I would definitely want to use. So as a DeFi power user, like this is a super great tool to build out. Like honestly, I love this protocol. So yeah, great project overall.
100% echoing his thought. I think he covered mostly like all the points which I had in Xscope and Zerion. So yeah, kudos. Yeah, I would also personally use this project.
I think this has come a long way. I think initially uh, I remember one of the first iterations was a set protocol of like doing this kind of stuff. But yeah, like glad to see that now. It's actually come to a level where you can compare it with small case in a sense. Right.
Cool. Let's move on to
Check
the
out
next
them.
project.
And yeah, I think Chirag is also listening, is in the chat. So then yeah, shout out to you, Chirag.
So the next project is called Extreme, which is a cross-chain token streaming solution. I think it is built on top of Superfluid. And what it enables is it allows anyone to send a stream to a recipient address on a chain that they don't have liquidity on without the need to bridge tokens to that chain and having native tokens to pay gas for initiatives. So I think it's an effort towards making cross-chain transactions much more simpler. Yeah, any thoughts on this?
I mean, this is pretty cool. The fact that I'm not really sure how this is really implemented, but yeah, I would want to, hear your thoughts.
Honestly, again, like super cool idea, right? Like we have like Safely or Superfuel already kind of building this. But make taking that cross chain is fairly difficult, right? But I believe like this makes use of Amarok with the connects the new upgrade Amarok, which kind of enables the arbitrary message bridge and kind of enables the cross-chain bridging of the streaming facilities as well. So like that is a great idea. I see one of the use cases here has been highlighted as DAO compensation, and I have to kind of wholeheartedly agree with this, right? I when like with my tenure at Gitcoin DAO, it basically meant like since most DAOs would be established on Ethereum, it would make it fairly difficult to have like cost efficient payouts. And having a solution like this means that a DAO can just schedule a payout at a certain amount of time, at worth a certain amount, and then make use of the Connects bridge and then have it bridged over at that particular time and not have to pay those expensive fees that they would have to on L1. So yeah, definitely love the use cases. Like I think this is a product with a very good product market fit. So would love to see where this goes next.
I think the next best step would be to just talk with the Superfluid team and have it natively integrated in the protocol.
Yeah, that should be pretty cool. I think these are also like past ETH India grantees. Yeah. Yeah, great to see them continuing building. Right. Let's check out the next project.
Next project we have is called PeerNet.
Yeah,
So
I think so.
Decentralized.
We had folks, I think in the chat like asking us to check out PeerNet. So yeah, here you are.
So yeah, here it says that it's a decentralized VPN service that offers fast, secure, and private internet access to users across the world. And like the kind of benefit it provides is that it uses a network of peer-to-peer connections to create a truly decentralized and distributed network. I think that's where the power of Web3 comes into the picture.
And this is a project I have been thinking about in some time. There are obviously some security stuff, but I think that can be taken care of considering this is a hackathon project. But pretty cool. Like right now, what the governments and everything is trying to do with the VPN service provider, this will come really handy for that.
It's pretty cool. Let's just play the beat. Right.
Yeah, we can put
the video for a bit. Right. Let's use this Arcana. I mean, this is really cool as a concept, and then yeah, like the problem with like traditional VPNs is just that, right? If centralized folks are controlling the points, then I'm not really, then yeah, I never really know like what can happen there, even though people say it's encrypted.
Just like
Stuff.
I'm just gonna go ahead and quickly open my notes. Clear that.
I know a lot of people are commenting in the chat to check out their projects. I think once we are done with the list we had, we can spend some time to probably check out one or two. But yeah, don't feel bad if
Sure.
we aren't able to.
Cool. Next up, we have Vic, if I'm pronouncing that right. It says that it's a profile for your Ethereum address, and the key problems it solves is like you have like unlimited customization option for wallet profiles, and you can create your own components for profiles. I think maybe some screenshots would help over here.
Right. Right. And then what happens after that?
Yeah. So I think like they have built a tool which developers can use. Like I just saw like an npm package, it being an npm package. So this just gives like a lot more sort of customization to your Ethereum address. Like right now, how ENS exists, I think it's just building more on top of that, where you can sort of build your online identity. If I'm not.
Yeah, I
This
think.
is more so. No, go
Yeah.
ahead.
Sorry.
Oh, no, no, it's totally cool. I know. I was gonna say this is built by Mirror. Like he was one of my friends at uh, Developer DAO. So it's nice to see him kind of build this out here. Like seems super cool. And I'm not saying that because I'm biased. Maybe I am, but honestly, I love the fact that they're building on top of Mantle. Like I'm kind of excited to see what they bring to the space. And again, like I see this as sort of like the decentralized link tree alternative. That's how I would kind of personally view it. Technically, that's how ENS also is. People don't tend to use it that way, but it's actually a very good solution in that regard. People have been building on top, like they have been doing ether.link, ether.xyz sort of subdomains, and all of this customization of ENS. And something like this I think would also be a pretty good alternative. Or all it depends is like how good is the UX and how far is the market reach. So really I love to see it.
Yeah, this is more of like when you connect your wallet, you get like that prompt at the top that okay, this is your icon and like this is the wallet address. It's more around that. It just changes the icon of your wallet, and I think it creates less confusion. You can have different icons for different wallets. Yeah, that's pretty cool.
So I'm just gonna go ahead to give them my notes.
Yeah.
Awesome. We have two more projects to go. So the next one is AI Muse, which is also kind of similar to what we have already seen, but it has its own implementation. Uh, and it helps you create and mint one of a kind NFTs with just a few taps. So what I can see here, it's creating an NFT generator mobile application. So, and it uses AI algorithms and prompts to simplify the NFT creation process. Kind of similar to what we have seen earlier, but like this is their own specific implementation.
Let's check out the screenshots. Right.
Yeah.
This is mobile first.
Mm-hmm.
And what I looks like to be
one level ahead, which is mobile first, as you mentioned, Denver, which is interesting because that makes it even more accessible, right? Like, how many people really use desktop today?
for sure. And I think I think that's really changing the game. Like especially in countries like India, you might build all the fancy applications that you would want on the desktop, but if you really want to get to the users, then you have to think mobile first. And yeah, they're really cool stuff.
Yeah.
I also wish, like, since it's mobile, I also kind of wish that there was some way if they made use of the camera also.
That's true.
I
If you
don't know if they've
capture
done
something,
that.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah,
if you
that
capture
is a
something,
really good idea.
that would also be pretty cool. Yeah,
If I think that's the next step for AI news team. So
is this? Yeah.
cool. We are almost at the end of the list. The last project which we have is called EdgeSnap, and it says that it's a one-stop snap-based solution for all your Edgeverse needs. So you can access not only Edge EVM but also Edge WSM environment from the MetaMask, eliminating the needs for multiple extensions. This is, I think, built on top of Consensus. And what I can see here is yeah, I think
Let's
this
check
is
on
like
the.
more in terms of tooling. Yeah. So
Okay.
I think the demo plays, but the audio is not coming right from the demo.
No, 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 it's not. No.
I can just reshare my screen. I think that would help. Just give me 1 second.
Hackathon. This basically aims to solve a critical issue while interacting with edge environments. First one is AGVM, and another one
Yeah, we could hear you.
from Edgeware DAO contributors. So we developed a project called EdgeSnap in this ETHforAll hackathon. This basically aims to solve a critical issue while interacting with the Edgeware blockchain. So Edgeware is a substrate-based solution, and it has two smart contract environments. First one is AGVM, and another one is EdgeWasm. So users usually have to chain safe for Polkadot, and we ported it for Edgeware. So both of these chains are substrate-based, so it's quite easier. But that's just one part. Porting is just one part. The second part of this project is the dashboard that we are seeing. So we developed a portal to interact with the Snap and demonstrate its functionality. So let's get into it. Initially, we will click on connect MetaMask. If the snap is not installed, it will basically ask to install the snap. So we will click on approve and install, and that's how the snap got installed in the MetaMask Flask. So MetaMask Flask is the developer release of the MetaMask. Currently, snap functionality is not available on the conventional MetaMask. It will be available soon for the public release, but until then, for demonstration purpose, we are using MetaMask Flask. So once the snap is installed, you can see the latest block number, block hash, address, balance, etc. And the minimal functionality you can do right now is the transfer and signing of a message. So we'll just grab a random address from Subscan. Subscan is a block explorer, not just for Edgeware, but for many subset chains. So we will just grab random address and send a small amount. Once you click on transfer, it will query to the snap installed, and this will prompt to approve the transaction. And here you can see the transaction is now on chain. If you click on see details, you can see the extrinsics 4 seconds ago. So this is how this functionality works. Pretty minimalistic, but this is what users need because they can interact with both the environments, both the smart contract environments, Edge EVM and Edge WASM, with just one extension in future when the snaps are available on MetaMask. So this is a small demonstration of our project. Here is our code tree. So this is completely based on the implementation or the snap implementation developed by ChainSafe. We ported it for Edgeware and modified it a little bit to support certain functionalities, and also added the dashboard. So in this dashboard, we are looking to add more functionalities, Like currently, this is the only page, but this will be the extrinsic page. In future, we will have another page called tools, and where you can basically use that tool to seamlessly interact between HEVM and HVASM side. So that's the small demo from our side. Thank you.
Right.
Yeah, I think this goes
Kautuk,
back
any
again
thoughts?
to our initial. Yeah, this was another exciting project because I think, again, going back to our previous conversation about having multiple wallets to interact with application stuff, I think having different chains is a great idea. Every chain will offer some different functionality, but point is like when the chain becomes like a non-Ethereum chain, becomes maybe Solana or something like that, you'll have to install multiple wallets to interact with those chains. So this project basically demonstrates a step into that direction wherein one extension can solve all the chain's needs. So they basically are porting in like Edge Wasm's interaction into MetaMask, which already does for Ethereum chain. So I believe going forward, maybe with Stacknet and other chains as well, which does not have support, which has their own extension and stuff, can actually come together in one place. Yeah, interesting.
Pretty interesting. And then there'll be. Are you saying so? Are you saying they'll be able to use MetaMask then, or is there a way you must use MetaMask?
Yeah, exactly. Like they did. Basically, they're interacting with the Polkadot chain using MetaMask itself.
Pretty cool stuff. Yeah, I think one thing is then you're getting used to different kinds of wallet UXs and different types of environments you change is also not straightforward. So yeah, like if you're able to use something consistent, that's also pretty cool.
And I think cross-chain wallets will continue gaining popularity even more. Like we are basically moving into a multi-chain world. Like we are not ready for it, but we are already here.
Yep.
Yeah, I agree with the last sentence. We're not ready for it, but it's here.
Right.
Cool. So that brings us to the end of our list.
Yeah.
Yep.
So I think
So,
we wanted to check out more projects, but then I think we are already at an hour. So I would definitely want folks probably we can figure out some other way to give feedback to these projects. Yeah, just reach out to us on email, and then we'll figure out some way to give you feedback.
What we'll also do is maybe we can take like a dump of the chat, and we'll have all your comments, so you can also write back, or you can just write to us. I think that works either way.
Yeah. And then somebody's asking to give the rest of the votes to SuperPay, and Bhagwan, aapka MetaMask parega. I mean, I doubt that, but thanks for trying.
The rest of the votes, I'm just going to randomly just give one vote to each. No preference per se.
Aniket, but if you gave it to the Shiblock or one of you, if you give it to that particular project, your MetaMask would be like full. To super
Cool. So I'm just gonna review my votes, just also we can see how does the steps ahead look like. So I can see all my votes. If I want, I can just go back and edit, or I can just quickly go ahead and submit my votes.
All right.
Yep, it is now live. It is just going to take some time to load, and yep, it is all live. And I'll shortly tweet about this as well. So this is the link to my stage.
Put up on Arbitrum when Polygon QEDK.
Awesome. So, folks, as you're also aware, we had sent out an announcement for this that if you also take part in the voting process, we'll be dropping a special NFT for that. So as you saw, like the voting experience is pretty simple. Just go ahead, distribute 100 votes amongst your favorite projects. The ones you like more, you can give more weightage to that, and just give your votes. Like also while onboarding, you connect your wallet. I had done that earlier, so that step didn't come in. And once that is done, just go ahead and click submit votes, and you have all about it. And also make sure that you tweet about it. So this will directly open my Twitter. Things look good. So I'm just going to go ahead and tweet it out as well. So yeah.
Right. And QEDK, you want to tell folks about your offer?
Like as everyone knows, Go Early ETH is selling like hot potatoes. We have now attached real wallet, real world asset value to fake token. Never believed it could happen, but it has happened. So congrats, guys, we made it happen. But if you want 10 Go Early ETH, please send me the best dog memes, and I will send it to you promptly.
Amazing. Right, folks. Thanks a lot for joining in today. And yeah, thanks for taking out time on Thursday evening. I mean, I think at least we didn't keep it on a Friday. So yeah, but still, yeah. Thanks a lot, folks, for joining in.
So builders, like you have time till 9 p.m. IST tomorrow to submit all your votes. And as mentioned, like if you would be submitting, tweet about it, and you will then also be eligible for getting a very special NFT airdrop from our end. And yeah, with that, thanks everyone for joining in.
Yeah.
When
Thanks,
the
everyone.
airdrop, sir?
Awesome.
Soon. Few. Right.
Awesome, guys, and yeah, great
Thanks,
job to
folks.
Devfolio for like setting up this entire thing and like making it so seamless and everything. I think it's great because even after the hackathon, people are still engaged and looking at the projects. Otherwise, what happens is people just build the projects and they sometimes forget about it. This makes it really great that people are coming back to see the projects and like still interacting with them. So yeah, awesome.
Likewise, all my love to the Devfolio team. And yeah, love the session today. Thanks so much.
Thanks, QEDK.
Awesome.
Thanks, Kautuk.
Okay.
Hi, guys.
Cheers.
Bye.